Hello and welcome to Flooring Models Kit Review Time. Today we've got Kitty Hawk's brand new 1/32 scale. This is the Mirage 2000C. So we're hoping that there's going to be a BN version coming out, but for the moment we have got the C down in front. So we've been looking at this kit for some time online, and it's finally nice to get our grubby little mitts on one, as you can see down in here. Nice little bit of box art, got the Mirage taken off there. Great schemes on this one, I have to say. Very nice dude. It does say it comes with a little bit of photo etch, which we usually get, and hopefully a couple of little bits of resin as well. So very, very nice as well with the Hellenic one, with the Greek one down there, but obviously some very nice schemes on this one around the box. So your kit number for this one is KH32020, and then again another couple of nice ones down on this side as well. So some very nice options straight out of the box with this one. So in the box we have a stuffed, absolutely stuffed. So we've got the instructions down in there, we've got the decals, we've got a little bit of photo etch just down in there as well. We have an envelope, which not sure, we'll see. And we can see, and there we have a Mirage in the box. And as you can see, it's almost whole. So it just goes to show, actually the Mirage 2000 is one of those funny aircraft. You see it in the sky, it looks quite big. Actually it's smaller than an F-16. So it is very, very small, very compact. But we can see we do have sprue, one. We've got clear parts no doubt in the box as always, and then you can see we have more sprues, and more sprues and more sprues, and I'll tell you what, we'll get them out as we go. I think that'll be a lot easier than trying to do it this way. So start off with, as always, in the instructions. Let's see how this thing goes together. Okay, so a couple of things to point out in here. One, we get a resin pilot, which looks very nice indeed, and a resin nozzle as well, so that should be quite good. Apart from that, it's that usual thing, straight away into the actual cockpit. We've got some photo etch for the lap belts and the various parts, the harnesses system in there like that. We've got obviously the cockpit going through. Decals for the instrument panels, although hopefully you could just obviously hand paint as well, but it does give you the option down in there. Instrument panel going through, being fitted along with the seat into the cockpit tub itself. Working our way down through the nose wheel well system, going through there, getting all the gear in, looks very nice indeed. So we've got some hydraulic business going down in here, various parts going down on that one. Then we're working down on these sections just down in here, which looks like it's the guns. Okay, so we've got the gun section down in there, so the gun fitted into that one just the way through with the main wheel wells behind them. Then we got an engine, so a full length detailed engine as well, right the way through on this one. Lots of parts of the engines going through in there, and then that usual thing, getting the gun system and the wheel wells fitted down in the front system, getting that nose system down into there as well. Then we've got the engine going in there, the cockpit as well, bringing those together. Then obviously working with the actual intakes. So we've got the intakes going down onto that one, okay, and again it's not a full length intake, but you can't see them anyway because the shock cone down in the front and that's too big, so you're not going to be able to see anything anyway. All right, so usual bits going down on there, both sides as you can imagine being fitted on there. We do have some hatches and some details for the insides as well. A few air scoops going on. Again, really nice. We've got a detailed radar as well. So if you want to have the nose off, showing off the actual nose radar system, you can do that as well. Then it's into the wings. So we're working with the rest of the wheel wells down in there. The leading edge slats and the flaperons going down there on the back. Got the actuators and the various parts being fitted down into those. Sandwiching the actual wheel wells together, and then same on the other side. Down in here we've got the call outs, which we'll do afterwards. Okay, so fitting the wings on, so it does look like it's a tab system on that. There's no real wing spar into it, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Then we've actually got the vertical tail, and then we've actually got the rudder system being fitted on there, and then down at the back here we can see we've actually got the little fillets for the outer ones being fitted down in there, and then we've actually got the nozzle for the resin for the actual engine. All the actuators and the various parts going down in there, little bits of hydraulic type works, things like that being fitted down into there to the main gear. Then it's getting that main gear fitted down onto this one, and then we've got the little speed brakes down in the fronts. Okay, so those being fitted down in there, top and bottom on this kit as well for those particular ones. Then we got the doors being fitted down onto there, we got the canopy going on there, all your aerials, various options as well for different ones down into there. Then we've actually got the weapons fit and all the rest of it. So we've got JSOW looks like down in here, fuel tanks, Okay, both types of fuel tanks. We've got the bomb racks, we've got the missiles, so we've got the magic missiles down in there as well, and then obviously we got the Mantra missile system down into that one going in there. Pods as well, so we got the Atlas 2, which is basically like a sniper pod type system down in there, and so with those ones being fitted in there, and we've got some of the other ones as well going through, and then your pylon call outs for obviously what's going in where and what stores you're going to be holding. And then obviously we've got the actual stores call out down in the back here as well for the particular ones. Very, very nice indeed. Now, as always, the painting guide is in the middle. Okay, so it's colour and it is put in. So you've got your decal call outs and your painting guides down on these as well. Okay, and I'm just wondering if they've got it. No, they haven't. So usual thing, you're actually thinking, well, look, hold on, that's the Greek and obviously with the French. What it is, they're designed as pull-outs. So when you look at it that way, it's correct. So don't think they've actually printed them wrong. It just so happens of how they do them. That is absolutely gorgeous. Love that tail there with the actual tail art and with the falcon onto it as well. So that's very nice indeed. And then as I say, we've got the other ones down in this one, and obviously you've got your weapons call outs. And again, the reason this one is this way is because if you were to flip over, that's the other half of it. Okay, so again, really very, very nice stuff. Interesting markings, nice tiger meat one as well. Very, very nice indeed. Looks good, very, very good. Okay, so to start off with, and to get rid of my curiosity, I just want to look in here. So, in here, God, that is strong glue. Oh my lord, I don't want to crush, because I assume it's resin in here, and I don't want to crush any parts that are in these. So, down in here, we have a fantastic resin pilot figure. So he is all in one, as we can see, and I have to say he's very nice. Now I have been spoilt because I have seen this kit built and made up, and I've got a few photos which I'll show you at the end with it built up by a good friend of ours, John, who's already put it together, and he painted the figure, and that looks absolutely gorgeous. Very nicely done indeed. Hanging loose with the actual arm as well. Okay, so that's actually quite a nice touch down in there. And then here we've got what has to be described only as a gorgeous nozzle. So one piece resin nozzle, great detail all on the outside of this. But the big thing is the inside is even nicer. So when you look in there, you've got all that gorgeous detail, and that's the whole point of doing it, because you've got all the actuators down in there, all moulded in one. And actually it's quite a clean pull as well. So that's very, very nice indeed. And having seen it again, been painted and put together as well, that does look very, very nice. Okay. Right, okay, so let's pop that back in the sticky bag. Okay. Okay, next up, just because we're doing things out of order slightly today, let's have a look in the clear parts. So, clear parts are bagged. Let's make our way into these. Again. Okay, straight off the bat, that just looks a little bit wobbly to me. You can see it on the close-up. You have got a very fine centre seam just down the back here. This is supposed to be here, but that is very easy. But it just looks a little bit wobbly. I don't know why that is. Normally they're not too bad, but that is quite a lot of distortion in that. I think you get away, again, because of the scale, because obviously if you put your finger in, I can see my fingerprint through it and all the rest of it, so that isn't a problem. It's just the parts are done that way. Again, it's quite softly with the demarcation on the outside between the actual canopy framing and the clear part. There isn't a lot to go on there, so it will be a case of masking that up separate. And then obviously what we've got down in here is the heads-up glass, which is fair enough, no problem at all. And then obviously we've got all the other parts for the blow-in doors and the various things in this one as well. And then obviously we've got the sniper pod type things at the back. So that's quite nice. Okay, right, let's pop that in there out of the way. Okay, so starting with the important bit, let's have a look. So, I have to say, the plastic seems crispier, harder. It sounds better than normal, shall we say, or normal what we have come to expect. So here we are with sprue A, and as you can see, it is quite a nice lump. The recessed detailing seems to be very nice, and it seems quite universal, that we haven't got that usual thing where it sort of dies off at the edges and various things. We have got a very fine seam line running just down the edge here. Well, you can actually see that. So that's going to take a couple of swipes, but to be honest, that isn't a problem with that one. It doesn't look like we've got one at the top. Okay, and if we have a look down it, you can see we've got very nice details. Again, it's an awkward colour to play with the camera, but it's got nice recessed riveting details, all the parts for the slime lines, and again from the underside, as you can see, we've got lots of various bits and pieces going on down in here. Doesn't look too bad at all. Okay, exactly the same as you might imagine on the other side. So working on the top side, looking through. So we've got no sink marks that I can see or anything else like that. The cockpit tub, which we were hoping for, which we're okay. So it's got some nice raised details, all the switching and stuff like that. Okay, and again, some of the plumbing stuff around the rear parts, the actual front canopy, and then obviously we've got various access panels and things like that on this one right the way through. Inside, we've got a little bit of framework, but not much going on there. Obviously the tub's going to fill most of that. Nice to see that we haven't got any ejector pins in these access doors or anything else like that. And again, beautifully raised rivet details and recessed details on all of those. But even these sort of louver doors down in here, very, very nicely moulded. Crisper than I think we've seen before with them. Okay, and then last up, just down in here, we've got the instrument panel, and again, very nice. By the time we get all the bits in there, get the decals into it, I think it'd be absolutely fine on there. Very nice indeed. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do is, because there's a hell of a lot of this, we're just going to run through it in order as it comes out of the box. Okay, so down in here we've got B. A couple of different types of noses down in here. So we've got this strakes on the sides, as you can see them, and then one without. There is slight different versions between them. There's the C dash whatever it is and all the rest of it with Mirages are a little bit complex because of our different weapon systems and radar systems they have. Okay, anyway, tail looks very, very nice with that recessed riveting detail down in there. That actually is done. It's one piece as well. Very nicely moulded, very sharp, very crisp right the way through. And then obviously we've got various things. We've got the refueling probe. We won't use its common name, family show. Okay, so there we go, and some of the other items in there. So generally, very nice. The noses look fantastic, beautifully moulded, no problem at all. Okay, so into sprue C, we have a huge engine. And it is, and it's beautifully detailed. It's a shame there's no way of pulling this thing in and out and having it as a loose fit, but I'm sure a lot of clever people out there could actually retrofit it. Nice flame holder as well. That actually looks really nice. And if we have a look through, so we've got some of those actuators, some of the areas in there. We've got the wheel well for the nose, looks quite nice. And say some of that plumbing work going into it, and then working our way around. There is no option for a plastic nozzle either, so you are going to have to use the resin one, but that engine looks really, really nice. I think a bit more wiring added to that and plumbing, and I think you'd actually have something very nice as a standalone. Again, nice work with the compressor blades, with the first stage, secondary stage, and then obviously the rears and things like that. Nose wheel system looks pretty good right the way through there. Again, I have to say, they're getting better. Kitty Hawk are definitely getting better. The plastic is far nicer. A couple of nice touches is down in here, the inside of the nozzle, good three-dimensional textures right the way through that, no ejector pins in there, which is very nice indeed. Again, nose wheel door, good internals as well, beautifully done, no ejector pins either. That's actually getting to be very, very nice indeed. And again, we've been speaking about this, if you've been following along with the Flory bite-size modelling, this is what we're talking about with these raised location points. So it doesn't interfere with the actual plastic of the mould. So we've got two halves coming together with these, and it's on these rear ones, which are really nicely done. So it saves causing damage to actually the part itself. So actually, very, very good. Happy with that, that's very nice. Okay. I'm hoping they're all going to come out in order, which if they do, it'd be a miracle. So here we have sprue. Doesn't say. Here we have a sprue something or other. Actually, hasn't got a sprue number. E. Sorry, they're not coming out in order. Okay. Okay. So down in here, various parts. So we've got the shot cone, the intake, flaperons, some of the actuators, all of the smaller details, and then obviously we've got the wells for the air brakes as well. So starting up here, we've got the shot cones, looking very nice indeed. We've got one of the flaperons there. There we go. So we say we've got a little bit of getting close, but we're okay. So these are the actual wells for the speed brakes. Tail section down by the back end by the engine. Again, beautifully detailed, all of those. So very, very nice indeed. Or are they? No, sorry, this is the actual intakes. So you're just getting confused there between the two. So that's the actual intakes, just looking at the fronts, not the rears. So these were holes at the top are for blowing doors. There are auxiliary doors and top and bottom that the Mirage has. Okay, over on here we do have, and I thought it was a sink mark, but it's not. It's just some webbing on there for the injection moulding for the wheel wells, and that's the doors. We got speed brake areas. Down in here we've actually got the flaperons. This is the shot cone on the intake of the actual engines themselves. Some more doors, and as you can see, you've got some very nice details on those as well. So, and then we've got the actuators down in here for the flaperons, and these are these blowing door areas at the tops. Very nice. And then again, very nice details, as you can see down in here for the insides of those wheel wells. That's really very smart. I do like that. Very nice. I tell you what I do like is this extra level of detail with the latching and the actual mechanics from the actual doors themselves. Very nicely done. Very strongly moulded in those. And again, we don't have any internals, which is really nice. So actually, I have to say, could be a winner. Right, so we've got fuel tanks, depending if you want the different types. So we've got a match pair with this, so we've got two exactly the same. So we just have a look at one on eye. So we've got the slip tank and we've got the sort of bulge tank as well, and some of the other parts down in here. We've got the ejector seat and everything else down in there. And again, really nice that we've got the raised beading from the welding on the slip tanks, and again at the top there some more actuators. We've got seat cushions. This is the guns being fitted if you're going to be putting those in there, different types of various things. So we've got bits of ejector seat all around this. So we've got the seat, we've got the back, we've got the head box, we've got the gear, so you've got the brakes and everything down in those. Again, we've got some detailing actually on the tyre, so it actually does say Michelin. It actually does say it as well, which is quite nice. Okay, guns, actuators, one of the pods, more from the seat. So we've got the pull handle, some of the details down in there, and then of course we've got the seat itself. Looks pretty good. And then working our way over, we've got the other ones with the recessed details and the raised on this one for these other fuel tanks as well. And again, some of the other areas with a pylon down in there for that as well. So actually that's very, very nice indeed. That looks really very, very good. Okay, so in here we've got a hell of a lot of weapons and various things into this. So half of this box is weapons. And again, another matched pair. Okay, so we have, it's not a J-Cell, it's something else. So it's Storm Shadow type thing down here at the top, and obviously with all the missiles, the magic missiles, we've got rocket pods down in here. Really, some very nice detail on some of this stuff. I know it's a bigger scale, but it's nice to see we've got different types of heads as well for the IR head and for the radar guided heads on there. Another part down in there, some of the others, as you can see, multi-part to build up all of these, the rocket pods, but generally very, very nicely done. Some good details on all of these. Could it possibly be? This would be the first kit I've ever reviewed of Kitty Hawk where I'm not going to pull it apart. But so far, I have to say, it looks very nice. Very, very nice. Okay. I'm hoping for something interesting. Here we go. Let's have a look at a wing. because all these seem to be weapons. So the little wings gives you an idea. Funny thing is, it's a tiny little plane when you see it. It's not that big, that's the thing. Okay, so we got match pair on these. Probably go straight to the close-up. You can see very, very nice details. Beautifully done. And to me it just all feels right. The actual riveting feels the right size. The panel lining feels about the right size and everything. And it's all where you would really expect it. It's very nice, it's very crisp, and also it's universal. I have complained bitterly about some of their kits in the past, the way it's very heavy and then it fades off to nothing and various things like that. This isn't. This is actually right the way through, but the level of detail is just astonishing really. So beautiful work on the insides. Very nicely done. And the ejector pins are all just tucked out of the way. They're not going to be a problem, they're not going to get in the way or anything else like that. Okay, so we've got down in here another one for pylons and as such. And again, it's a duplicate, so you're going to end up with, weirdly, a ton of targeting pods. Why would you? I suppose because you've got pylons on, that's why they've done it. And again, a little bit odd for this scale, but it's quite nice. It makes it easier for us. But the pylons are one piece. So it's not two halves having to sandwich them together. They are solid in one. So actually, that's a hell of a lot. It's going to be quite a weighty. And in fact, I've held one of these. They are very heavy, and I now can understand why, because there's no gaps in this. It's absolutely solid. Okay, but again, very nice right the way over. If we have a quick swizz round, as you can see on the pylons, good level of detail with all of those. Okay, with the targeting pods. And again, normally when you're doing these pylons, as solid as these are, as you can see, they're one-piece solid lumps with all that detail brimming through. They are fantastic. There's no sink marks in it. And again, normally with big stuff, you often get a few little sink marks and things in here, but you know, no problem with any of those whatsoever. All of those parts, very, very nicely done. I'm blown away. Okay, last up, some more of the interesting things. So, as we know, there is going to be a few flavours of this coming through. Apparently 4, because we've got 4 tops of tails down in here. Again, it's a little bit modular, but luckily for us, if they're going to do the BN, it's going to have to be an entire new fuselage, which is fair enough. That way, at least we aren't going to have a big seam at the front to put the other one in, so forth and so on. So down here on sprue D, we've got some of those changes coming through. Again, with all the different types of tail down in here, with the slightly different versions of them all, which looks like it's the radar, warning receivers, and antennas down on these ones, as you can see, for the different versions. So theoretically, we've got 4 versions down in here. Very nice indeed. Okay, so running around the top, we've got the pitot tubes, we've got the field gear hook, we've got some of the main gear down in here, some of the plumbing type work, the main gear legs, again, really nice. The actuators, the hydraulics, some of the fillets down in there. And again, the level of detail is very, very nice. These door areas. These ones down in here, no, that's not an ejector pin, that should be there. That's actually part of it. Very, very nice. And here's those different tails walking it across. So we're assuming this is the one we're doing. Or is it that one? No, it's this one, it's the small one for the C. Oh my lord, look, I can find a complaint. I'm not. Tiny little bit of flash on the tail, that's the first thing I've actually managed to find. In fact, there's a little bit of flash on this sprue, full stop. And that's me being really picky. Radome, of the actual radar antenna I should say. And again, all the other areas, really very, very nice. Okay, last up, we haven't forgot it, we've got the decals. Okay, so down in here we've got a tiny little bit of photo etch, which is fair enough, as you can see. So you've got your harnesses, a couple of bits in there. Okay, that's fair enough. And then we've got the decals. So, wow. That's really very nicely printed. I don't know if you can see that. Fantastically printed. I'm just seeing who's printed them. It doesn't say on here, it says on the box if it is somebody a little bit more. Okay, but there's that beautiful tail for the Greek one. Again, they're a little bit generic and a bit rubbish, but as I say, you probably can do the cockpit one anyway. Very, very nice indeed. Okay, and some more of the other ones here. We'll just walk our way up them, I think. As you can see, all the different nationalities down in there. Is that Taiwan? I think it is. Really very, very nicely done indeed. Beautiful registering. And again, quite nice. We've got massive amounts of carrier film even through these on here. If I get it to go, there you go. You can see we've got gaps in between it all. That looks quite nice. They may be a little bit thick, but they're a really nice, good, solid colour on these ones. So I have to say, beautiful. Well, I think we're going to say it. I never thought I would, but I honestly have to say, I think that's a great kit. They've actually done it. Kitty Hawk have finally got to that level where I think they've actually produced a kit where I can't moan about it from doing a review through blatant silly mistakes on it. Looks to be really nice. Couple of things that have taken me straight away. One, the plastic is far better than anything else they've used before. Secondly, their ejector pins are not pushing their way out the mould. So again, I think there's been a little bit of forethought in there. Very, very nicely done. So from an engineering point of view, whatever they've done, do not change it because it's looking really, really nice. Also from the guys who are designing it, beautifully done. The way they've actually done it with the ejector pins and the things like that, and locating tabs and all of those, really, really nice done as well. To try and pick a fault in it, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to bother. I do know this kit quite well. A good friend of ours, John, popped over to me last week, brought it over here. He's got a built one. We spoke about it, we discussed it. There is a couple of little things, but I'm really reluctant to say it purely because it looks so nice. And now it's going to look like I'm nitpicking, and I'm really, really not. Because actually, I think this is a fantastic kit. But apparently there's a couple of errors with the instructions, just some of the call outs, the numbering isn't quite right, so just watch yourself on that one. The blow-in doors are too small, so they just fall through. Okay, so if you're going to have them open, no problem at all, but if you're going to close them, you are going to need a little bit of filler in there and a little bit of rescribing job and stuff like that. So that's the only two big ones from a build point of view. The rest of it apparently goes very, very nicely. The tail light as well is a little bit of a handful to get in there, and because it's a one piece, you're trying to push it through without damaging everything. So take your time, sand it, make sure it's all right, but it's not a perfect fit either, so you just need to make it sure you're okay there. Yes, it doesn't have internals for the intake going right the way down to the engine. You cannot see anything. I tried, because of the way it's angled and all the rest of it, you cannot see the faceplate of actually the engine in there anyway. So I know a lot of people have been naysaying it, saying about, oh, it hasn't got full length intakes. It doesn't need them. You can't see it. You can't see anything past that shot cone and then further down the back anyway. So from that point of view, I think people are being very, very picky on there. And I'm not going to pick on this kit, because finally, Kitty Hawk, not only have you brought us something we've all been wanting for ages, i.e. a decent Mirage 2000 in 30-second scale, because it's gorgeous, but you've nailed it. So well done to Kitty Hawk. I never thought I would say it. I've always hoped I would say it, and again, I know I've been really, really hard on you guys over the years, but that's just purely frustration, because it was tiny little errors that just kept happening and happening and happening. And it's one of those that if it didn't, you'd produce some fantastic kits and you'd have no problems. I have to say, keep it up. You've nailed it. That's just move forward from now, because you've actually got a winner there, and everybody should have one of these in their stash. So anyway, that is the fantastic, see, you never thought I'd say that, Kitty Hawk 1/32 scale Mirage 2000C. Go and get one.